It's got a soul, this hero farm. It falls asleep inside my arms. We work the fields under the stars. The love is here at Gold Shop Farms. A city life, yeah, had its charms, but we would dream of the fields under the stars. I fall asleep inside its arms. The love is here at Gold Shop Farms. The love is here at Gold Shop Farms.
Good evening, everybody. What is going on? Hope everybody's having a great evening. I am super excited to be back here with you for yet another farm meeting. We do these first Wednesday night of every month. Just kind of sit down, have a conversation, talk a little bit behind the scenes about what's going on around the farm, answer your questions, hang out, and just have a good time. And I'm seeing all the regulars here. I see Piper Lely, Debbie, what's going on? What's going on? Rose, I see. How are you doing? Hey, Drew, what's going on? Good to see you. Wow. So many people lining up. Hey, So and Tara, good to see you, Katrina. So, yeah, guys, it's been kind of a crazy day here on the farm. I have been working on just really organizing the barn, which I know sounds like a very not important task, but it is really important, and it's also one of the things that I'm the worst at. And so I don't know how else to put it, but it took a lot of mental energy. And so that I spent a big chunk of my day doing that. And then the other thing was we got pork delivery today. So, we slaughtered our hogs. We had 3 of them that we did that. Actually, what was it? It was the very beginning of November. And my friend Cody, he took them and he was doing all the cutting and butchering and curing of the bacon and hams and making sausage and doing all of the, turning it into food and packaging it up. And so Cody came by today and dropped off most of it. He's got to come back with another round of it because there's just so much meat from the pigs. They were 3 very big girls. And yeah, our it's funny, we, had completely full freezers right after the goose harvest. And then, once that was done, about a month or so after that, we kind of emptied out most of the freezers of all the goose that we sold. And now it's we're jammed to the gills. I even have a couple of things outside just for overnight because I got to give them to some friends. Just because we have so much meat right now and it's crazy. I don't know, just a very strong sense of abundance here on the farm. And so, yeah, I've just been kind of running around going crazy. I was just ran up to my office after pounding down an omelet for dinner here. I'm by myself tonight. Allison's not around. And so just having the very much okay, I'm just eating eggs for dinner. It's one of those days. And I didn't even defrost any of the bacon. I know, isn't it killing me? I should have done bacon and eggs, but yeah, I was in just such a rush to eat before getting up here to get ready for you guys tonight. But yeah, other than that, I think around the farm, it's winter has finally set in. It was kind of a late feeling fall, but in the last week or two, it's gotten very cold. Tonight, I think it's, gosh, it's supposed to, I think it's going down to single digits overnight tonight. Hold on, I'll tell you. Yeah, it's 14 degrees right now. It's going to drop down. I think the low is looking like it's going to be about 8 degrees Fahrenheit overnight tonight. So yeah, it's going to be chilly. But yeah, I know you guys have a lot of questions. As always, if you guys want to drop your questions in all caps, it helps me see them. Yeah, I will try to do my best tonight to answer them. And please be patient with me too. If I don't get to your questions, just know I'm working to it. Also, I just wanted to say a shout out and thank you to my moderators. I see Rose from Wholesome Roots. I saw Katrina from So and Tara here. I think I saw Tammy here with under her new name, but yeah, we're all in great debt to the moderators here. I would not be able to do these things on the regular if it wasn't for them. And so, give them love, be very kind to them, and heck, even go check out their YouTube channels. But let's answer some questions. Okay, Julie Turner has the first question of the night. How has Ralph been adjusting? Has he found his own ladies yet? Well, Julie, I guess overall, I would say Ralph has, completely integrated into the flock. He is like very much just like one of the ducks. He's not getting bullied. He's not getting picked on by anybody. He goes with all the other ducks. He's not isolated. He like 100%. I feel like he's a part of the flock. In terms of action with the ladies, I'm not so sure. I have not seen him. I've seen him try to make overtures to a few of the girls, but I have not seen him be successful there, if you get what I'm saying. And so he's doing really well. He seems very happy. He seems very healthy. I don't know. He's maybe working on his love life, I guess, to answer your question. So, but that's a good one. Thank you. By the way, I totally forgot. I don't know if you guys know this or not, but we got some new hats here on the farm. So, the Goldshaw Farm toques, or beanies, or snow caps, whatever you want to call them. Winter hats, like it's super comfortable, super warm. They are 100% organic cotton. I worked really hard to try to find something that wasn't like a bunch of synthetics, because like most of these things are like acrylic now or something weird. And so I either wanted cotton or wool. And so I found these cotton ones that are great. They're now available just in our merch store. And they also, what's exciting is they come in different colors. So I got green, I got blue, I got gray, and then the black, which I'm wearing right now. So if you want to check them out, I think if you order them right now, they'll be available before Christmas. But you probably only have a couple more days left, but to do that, so don't sleep on it. And then also, I think you can still get the paperback before Christmas of Toby Dog of Goldshaw Farm, but I think if you're looking to get hardcovers, you got to wait until they finish the next printing, and so that's going to be, I think, in early January is when that's supposed to come. So just a heads up on that one. But yeah. Oh, and Nancy. And by the way, you can always get the Audible version. I'm so glad you enjoyed it, Nancy. That's awesome. It really means a lot to me to hear like people like actually are liking the book, and to all the folks who've been leaving reviews, it's super, super kind of you and super gratifying. And I will say, Lil Barncat has her book coming out. By the way, Lil's with me tonight. Lil, say hi. Hey, Lil. Oh, let's see if we can get Lil over here. Yeah, so I have been working on the sequel to Toby Dog of Goldshaw Farm. It's going to be titled, or I think it's going to be titled, this is still just sort of the working title, but it's going to be like the 8 Lives of Lil Barncat. Lil Barncat's the star, but Pablo, Toby, Jessica Coyote, Victoria the Owl, Grody Otis, they're all going to be in it as well. I'm about like a little bit more than halfway done with writing it right now, and so it's definitely coming along really well. So yeah, there you go. Sandra Bell asks, how many frogs did you get from the pond this summer? I don't know, Sandra, but it was a lot. There were way more frogs wandering around the farm over the course of this summer than I have ever seen before. And so the pond experiment and sort of trying to revive that habitat. Come on, Lil, hop up. The pond experiment and trying to revive that habitat like has done really, really well. And so, yeah, I didn't do a head count, but it's a lot. Okay. David asks, would plant GMO chestnuts if you got them for free? Yeah, probably. I would want to know a little bit more about the genetics. But yeah, I mean, I'm always adding new genetics into my orchard, into like my, one day future chestnut breeding program. So yes, I'd be very curious, David, sorry. Ralph, I'm thinking Ralph the Duck. But yeah. All right, let's see. I know I'm lagging behind already on questions. Hey, Charlie, what's going on? Wait, I'm hearing people say it's a little bit low here. I'm going to boost this up just a little bit. Maybe that helps. I don't know. You guys tell me. Yeah, eggs for dinner. Yeah, exactly, Victory. Oh, I think, Tammy, I think that's you, right? A bit quiet in the mic. Okay, I'm sorry. Yeah, I'm sorry. I just boosted it, so hopefully that fixes it. What it is, so when I'm recording a voiceover for a video, it's usually at that level, but it seems like whenever I do live streams, I have to like really crank it way beyond that. So yeah. Okay, Julianne asks, have you ever thought about raising bison? And so I actually have. So
Back when I was living in Washington, D.C. and like dreaming of farm life, I was actually very curious about raising bison. And, I even went to a bison farm and like checked it out and got to hang out with them and ask them a lot of questions. The reason I don't raise bison and why I don't plan to raise bison is the amount of handling infrastructure and like just managing the animals. It's a lot more complicated than cattle. So think about it this way, right? Like sheep are relatively easy to manage and corral and move. And if you need to like physically muscle a sheep, generally you can. Cattle are harder, but they're relatively docile. I mean, it's much more work though to move them and to have like a working facility and like to get them into a head gate and all that. It's just a lot more work than say sheep. Bison are probably like 3 or 4 times that. And so because of that work and effort, and then if you look at like the economics of it, it's not like significantly more profitable than say like a cow. I think I think all of that, really makes me shy away from it. So, but it's a really great question, Julianne. Are you making an Abby Dog book? So Ezra, I will probably eventually. So I have kind of a lot of the books like plotted out. By the way, it's just a little too warm to be wearing this. These are nice and toasty, but I will probably, if I get to a 4th book, maybe 5th book, it would be about Abby. She would be the star of that book. But it'll be a little ways away. That'll be a couple at the rate I'm going. If I can do like 1 a year, it'll be a couple years from now. Hey, Sarah, what's going on? Are you going to get any channel description moving? Yeah, I actually am. I'm working on a couple of things right now. And I'm not sure how much I'm going to actually want to talk about publicly just yet, but there's a couple of things I'm working on for the new year. One of them is actually a pretty major update to like the channel branding and website, and yeah, it'll change the description too. So like all of that will get changed for the new year. But I think the other things are actually probably more exciting. Yes, thank you, moderators. Do you plant your tree for Christmas? No, but we cut our tree for Christmas. So typically we have a tradition that the day after Thanksgiving, I take Allison out to the woods and I show her a couple of different trees that I've been eyeing over the course of the year that are, excuse me, the Worcester water kicking in. But I'll take her around the farm to different parts where usually I always have my eye out over the course of the year, like looking for good potential Christmas tree candidates. Usually like it's like a fir or a spruce or a pine. And they're trees that are typically like just, 5, 6, 7-year-old trees that we would probably just cull that are not necessarily in spots where I want them. And so we just pick one and we cut it down and then we bring it back to the house and dress it. And so that's our Christmas tree tradition. Like I said, it usually happens, not necessarily like Black Friday, but like that weekend after Thanksgiving is usually when we do it. I'm a pretty strict believer in like no Christmas decorations are allowed to go up before Thanksgiving. Come Friday morning, it's all game on, Christmas tunes, all of that stuff. I love having all that going on. And then like by like New Year's Day, it's all done. Like we're done. All right, move on. and so it's a very tight window, but I enjoy the window. What flavor water? You called it Rooster water last stream. Oh, no. So it's Worcester water. So I like club soda or seltzer from this company Polar. They're actually based in Worcester, Massachusetts. And so, because they're getting their water from the city of Worcester, I call it Worcester water. But yeah, it's really good club soda. I like it a lot. This one is tonight watermelon lemonade. I actually also have a backup can here. If I crank through that, I have probably my favorite flavor, which is this orange vanilla. But yeah, not Rooster water. That'd be actually kind of funny brand of water. Actually, Katrina, my finger's actually more or less healing up. I should talk about that in a video, but I have pretty much fully healed up. I still wear like a little protection outside just when I'm outside working because it's still like really tender skin, and when I touch it, it feels really weird, but it's mostly healed up at this point. So I am crossing my fingers that we have probably 5 calves. So fingers crossed. That would be the good like the good number, if it all works out right. Hey, Kara. Do any of the cats sleep with Toby in Toby's house? No. So both Pablo and Ginny like to sleep on the key in the. We have these like little heated cat house A-frames, and they like to sleep in those. And that's usually where you'll find them, especially on the colder nights. Typically, though, if the weather goes below 0 degrees Fahrenheit, I'll bring them inside, and they will spend the night in the basement. Because they are not good house cats. Especially Pablo's a terrible house cat. Ginny is kind of chaotic house cat. Neither of them are very good. What happens when you get feet of snow in a short period of time? Do you leave the birds in their coops? Honestly, no. So typically what I will do, regardless of the weather, I will always open up the coop every morning for them, and they can go out if they want to. Surprisingly, especially ducks and geese, they have like essentially built-in snowshoes, and so they walk pretty well on the snow. And so, I will always go out there and let them out if they let them have access. You'll tend to find them spending more time inside if it's really snowy on a day, but for the most part, I will always let them out. Yeah, like I said earlier, Heather, I actually just got all the meat today, or most of the meat today, and so yes, that task has been done. Yeah, exactly. I appreciate it. Okay, Nancy is asking, what's the purpose of the pond up front if it's not for the ducks and geese? Well, the main purpose, honestly, is water catchment and managing drainage, as well as like creating habitat. And so it's not for them, but like I want to try to ultimately get to a place where they can be a part of that ecosystem and like they can participate in it. And so that's essentially how I'm trying to get it set up. And I mean, what it comes down to is this, and really any part of the farm follows this rule, where if you give an animal too much access to one area, they will over abuse it and destroy that land. If you keep them dipping in and then giving the land a period of time to rest, usually it'll recover. And that's just like a general principle I see over and over and over again around the farm, whether it's with chickens or ducks or geese or cattle, like anything, pigs, like all of them. If they stay in one spot too long, it's not good for the animal and it's not good for the land. If you keep them moving and you let the land rest after they spent some time there, it's actually really good for both. And so that's why I restrict the access. So there were points of time where the birds did get access to the pond, but it wasn't a lot of time. And that's kind of what it gets into. Oh, Caitlin likes the black and the green, huh? Yeah. I mean, I'm a fan of them all. I will say I think probably the black is my favorite. But I also like the gray, actually, surprisingly. All right. What are your New Year's resolutions? I don't know. I haven't made any. I'm not a huge New Year's resolutions guy. I really just try to focus on doing, like, I don't, like, what it is this. I think actually trying to focus on self-improvement is a wonderful thing. I think using kind of the arbitrary date of like January 1st, I don't know. I try to actually say, well, why wait? Why don't you just do it? And so that's typically how I go about it. How do you make an omelet? I mean, well, how do I make an omelet? My typical method is I will, crack my eggs, toss them in the bowl, scramble them up. Then I'll also simultaneously heat up a cast iron skillet, let it get nice and toasty, drop a pat of butter in there, swirl it around so everything gets greased up, dump the egg in. I usually have some frozen veggies that I'll toss in there as well, like usually like a pepper, onion, broccoli mix. I have them like kind of pre-frozen, so it's really, really easy to do. Get them going, toss a little bit of cheese on there, get it mostly cooked, do a flip over, flip it around a couple times, pop it off, boom. It's for me to make that omelet, because I make basically that same omelet, I don't know, 6 days a week. I would say it's a less than 10-minute operation from walking into the kitchen to walking out with a plate of food and having cleaned up already. So it's super, super fast, super efficient. Is Abby's cut fully healed? Yes, Abby is fully healed. She's doing really well. I don't know. She's such a sweetheart. She's like chaos, but she's such a tender, sweet dog. It's so funny. I love her. Are the Canadian feral? No, I have not heard about these Canadian. I didn't actually think hogs would do all that well in this area, like as wild feral animals. I haven't heard much of like lots of feral hog like colonies, like down in Texas or like in the Carolinas. Like that's a real problem. I haven't heard much of that in this area. So, right. You know, Josh, were you the person? Somebody sent me a Ryan Hall snow measuring thing. I think it's in the barn. Next time we get a big storm, I'm going to bust it out just for whoever sent that to me. But yeah, I heard that there's like a whole bunch of snow, which would be nice. We actually, we really didn't get much at all last year. So it'd be nice to get it. Yeah, Lil. Oh, I'm so behind on the. Oh, golly. I'm like 20 minutes behind. Okay, here. Let's answer Shauna's question here. Morgan, with no vet in the area getting new sheep, how do you plan on dealing with CL? Well, so actually, here's the thing. I said like I was thinking about getting sheep, and if I was going to add a new animal to the farm for next year, I'm going to get sheep. I don't know. I'm having second thoughts, you guys, and I'll probably talk about this in a regular video soon. I'm having second thoughts for a couple of reasons. Number one, Shauna, for exactly the reason that you're citing, it's one of the things that kind of gives me pause. That would not be a showstopper in and of itself, because there's ways to work around those things, but it gives me pause. Number two, again, wanting to keep my life simple, adding a whole nother animal stream on top of things only complicates it. And then I would have to say, well, what do I stop doing on the farm? And I don't really want to stop doing anything that I do currently on the farm. So that would be like dilemma number two. And then dilemma number three is I think I want more cattle. And so I'm working on actually securing more cattle. One of the problems there has just been the Highland cattle market is insane right now. And so like, financially it's like a little tricky. It's not a good investment, I guess is maybe a better way to say it. And then the other thing is, I think I'm going to probably end up getting pigs again next year. Allison absolutely loved having the pigs. And I don't know. They did pretty well. I probably would do a couple things a little bit differently with the pigs. So I would actually say the odds are good that I don't get sheep next year, but I do get pigs again next year. That's not guaranteed. So don't take that as like set in stone. But that's where I'm trending. And again, like this is where when I talk about this stuff and I haven't made a decision yet, you guys got to give me a little grace and recognize my mind could change and I can kind of rethink things, but this is me just sharing with you like actively where my head's at right now. And whereas like say in like September or October, I was like, oh yeah, I really want to do sheep. As I keep talking to more folks who raise sheep and like doing my research and education, I'm getting less and less interested. And I'm getting more and more interested in adding more cattle. And so, yeah. I need to get that hat for my grandson to go with his book. Oh, SoCal, Boho Gal. That makes me so happy. And yeah, I mean, in terms of size, because somebody actually asked me this on Instagram the other day, like it fits my head pretty well, but it fit Allison pretty well too. And she's got a much smaller head. So it's very comfortable. It should fit your grandson. I love your farm. I live in New Hampshire, and sometimes I wish to pet Abby and Toby so much. How's Toby been doing? Toby's actually been really good. He's gotten into this very funny habit where every morning, as soon as I come in, he's so excited for me to go take him into the birds. And the minute he goes into the hoop coop, he will go pee somewhere to like mark his territory. And it's funny just how much like clockwork that has become lately. So yeah. Knock on wood, Amber, we have not had any problems yet. So, Katie, I wouldn't start breeding pigs yet. So, like I said, I would say that there's probably about a 75-80% chance that we get pigs again next year, but we would do it almost exactly the same way in terms of getting a couple of feeder pigs, somewhere between, I don't know, probably 3 and 5. and we would raise them up and then slaughter them, and that would be the end of it. I don't feed peanuts, only just because I don't have a good, cheap source of it. Hey, Kathy, good to see you. Really good to see you. Hope you're doing well. Love to catch up. I got to catch one of your live streams soon. Yeah, I mean, well, at this point, I'm actually getting duck eggs again because I don't have the crow problem, but I have not figured it out yet in terms of long term how I'm gonna do that next year. Still working on it. Hey, what's going on, Dutch? All right, what other questions we got here? I always wanted to live on a farm and eat fresh meat and vegetables, but I'm scared to slaughter the animals. How can I overcome this fear? Well, Ryu Ken, nice name, by the way. Love the Street Fighter 2 reference. You know, it's hard. I mean, I'm not gonna sugarcoat this one. It's tricky. I think the way to do it is start with a couple of chickens, and have like do like a handful of meat chickens that you raise for 8 weeks, and try processing them yourself. Honestly, that would be my best advice. Like, I think the other thing you can do is, can you find some folks who are processing birds? Or I know a lot of folks in a lot of areas will host like workshops to teach people how to process chickens. Honestly, do that and see how you handle that experience. And then from there, actually, as I'm thinking about it and just kind of talking out loud, I would say actually start with doing a class. Like, you can find classes and, you know, like look in your local homesteading groups and ask around. Even if like somebody's just like, you know, doing a butchering themselves and says, oh, I could use an extra pair of hands. I would say that you should start there. And do that once or twice and see how you like it and see how it makes you feel, and then kind of reassess your plan from there. That would honestly, Ryu Ken, that would be my best advice. The hats are, I want to say they're $25. Hold on, let me look. I think they're $25. I tried to keep it as reasonable as possible, particularly in this day and age, which is not easy to do. Yes, it is $25 for the hat. Here, actually, I can show you guys this. Here it is. So yes, $25, 100% organic cotton. And like I said, it comes in black, leaf green, light avio blue, and light gray. So those are your options. Okay, what else we got? I'm not sure Rosie would ever get her own book. She will probably make an appearance in a book for sure. I guarantee you she would make a book. But I'm not sure. I don't think she would ever get her own book. Like, you know, Toby's getting a book, Lil's getting a book, Pablo's getting a book, Abby would get a book, Molly and Ginny would get a book. I don't know. Like, it's harder. I'm never saying never, but we'll see. And then I honestly don't know. I have like 6 or 7 books in my head planned out, honestly. I'm not sure how much further it would go beyond that. I went deer hunting unsuccessfully, so my freezer is now full with meat from the pigs, but not from deer. I went out probably, I don't know, about a dozen times over the course of rifle season, which here in Vermont, like, kind of runs through a big chunk of November. And so, yeah, I go out, like, I have a couple of spots that I go out to, like, just in our back pasture. And so I went out a couple, like I said, I think it was about 11 times if I... it was like 11 days, but it was 11 days, but 12 times, because like sometimes I would go in the morning and night. But yeah, I've tried LaCroix. It's not bad. I have nothing against LaCroix, but if I was going to say, you know, like, I'm a New England guy, so I got to have sort of a certain measure of, I guess, New England brand loyalty. All right. Let's see what else. Okay, Debbie's got some questions here. What is your plans for the pig area this coming spring and summer? Honestly, Debbie, so what I did was I actually, just before the snow fell, scattered some grass seed around that area. And that's going to be mostly just like an extension of Allison's kitchen orchard. And we probably might plant a couple more trees. And we might put in a garden bed there. So that is the plan. Well, hi there, Dan and Serena. Not too. You know, one of my favorite places in Royalton, Worthy Burger. Love that place. I haven't yet, Quinn. It's all frozen, so I do have some bacon defrosting, so I'll definitely have some of that tomorrow, and I'm gonna treat myself tomorrow. I'm gonna make some ribs. So yeah, that is my plan. I will be having ribs for dinner tomorrow night, and yeah. Homestead. Hey, what's up, Kira? Yes, it is. It's exactly that. It's like an orange creamsicle without the sugar. It's like an unsweet. It's. I love it. It is my favorite flavor by far, no doubt about it. Yeah. I know some like Allison gets grossed out by it. She's like, she does not like that flavor combination at all. But for me, I love it. Like that is my favorite. Drew, I would be happy to do that. Yeah, I think that'd be a lot of fun to go up to Waterville. So yeah, just shoot me an email. I would love to do that. Okay, this is a question I want to get into. This is great. So, Calborg says, can you describe how your morning coffee routine has changed after surviving the harrowing events of the Great Asobu Coffee Maker incident of October 2023? Yes. All right. So, and I did a whole podcast episode on this one, so you guys can go that if you want the full story. But yeah, when I cut my finger and had to go to the emergency room because I was washing my coffee pot and it broke, I basically found a different pour over coffee maker because I really, really like pour over coffee. It's this one. Hold on, I'll show you. Pour over. I forget the name of the brand. But it's all one piece. So the difference is the Sobu one was like the Bodum. That's what I got. It's called the Bodum. It's this one right here. Hold on. Present, stop share, present, share screen. So yes, I actually got this very coffee maker right here. And it works great. It's all one piece, so I don't have the problem. Because what happened was I was unscrewing it when it exploded in my hand. And so I don't have that problem. And so, yes, every morning after I do my chores and, kind of get stuff situated outside, I'll usually come in and have myself a cup of coffee before starting to do either editing or writing. And yeah, it's a wonderful, peaceful ritual. But this is the way I've gone, and I very much like it. I think my only criticism is I'm not a big fan of the filter. And so I actually took the filter from my old Asobu, which was actually really nice, like one piece of metal. And that's what I actually like really enjoy doing. And so that is what's happened, Calborg. But thank you for that question. I really got a kick out of that. Yeah, by the way, guys, as Katrina's saying, please be patient with me. I'm answering a question from 7:45 and I know it's 8:04 right now. So I'm trying not to like blow past all the questions. So I'm trying to, go take them in order. How concerned are you about unpredictable weather next year? I mean, I don't know. Weather is the weather is. I mean, unless you're, Storm from the X-Men, you don't have much control in that. So it is what it is. I can only, try to prepare myself in a variety of ways for a variety of scenarios, but you can only go so far. Oh, Finn the cat. I really like that idea. That might be something to do too. Like a little, wow, Finn. Look, I will leave this video up so you can have this as evidence. Yeah, that you just planted a seed right there. I'm gonna think on that one. I like that idea a lot. Hold on, I'm I'm taking a picture of your question because that's usually how I remember everything and look at all my notes. But yeah, that's a good one, Finn. I like. Wow, Finn. That's good. Like, so we don't do much outdoor decorations, mostly because just like it gets trashed with the weather and everything. Inside the house, yeah, we've got kind of the old standards, like, we put our Christmas tree up, we got ornaments. By the way, some of you guys have sent us some lovely ornaments, and I wanted to say thank you so much. It really, well, like, some folks sent us actually this amazing like set of Highlanders, and they're great. Anyway, so but we have like other things, like I have an advent calendar for Allison that like I put like little stuff in it for her, and she can like open it up every day. We have Christmas rat. Christmas rat. Yeah, it's like a tradition in our household. So back when we were living in New York, I think I was at a store. It was, I don't know, it might have been actually in Chinatown. And I saw this like thing that was supposed to be a little polar bear. It was like about this big, but it looks like a white rat. And so, like I actually, I stuck a piece of wire up its butt so it looks like it has a rat tail, and basically we dubbed it Christmas rat, and so that comes out every year too. That's probably the most interesting one. Oh, we also have stockings, I guess. Hello, good to see you, my friend. Yeah, Kelly, our egg production has gone way down. Like we're averaging probably like 2 or 3 duck eggs a day and like 2 or 3 chicken eggs. So yeah, it dropped drastically. The white cow. I don't feel like I can get a live stream without a question about the white cow anymore. So no, she's not coming. I've said this in other videos too, so I don't mean to sound annoyed with you, Ben. But yeah, no, there was a deal that I had. It kind of things fell through. I frankly don't want to get into all the details of it. But yeah, no, she and her calf are not coming. Yeah, Caitlin, like I was saying, I think there's a very high probability that I get pigs again on this. Pigs again for next year. How about calf blankets and chicken eyeglasses? Wait, what? I'm confused, Janet, but yeah, sure. Kate, oh yeah, Bruce is totally still around. He's out there. He is basically our lead gander these days. I actually did a whole video about Bruce. I want to say it was like somewhere in October. But yeah, no, Bruce is doing good. When are the kangaroos coming? No, I'm gonna let Ben keep those. Not for me. What is the red unit behind you? I think you mean this cabinet right here. Right there. So it's basically just like an equipment cabinet. So I think I got it at Harbor Freight. It was on discount. Here, I'll open it. You can see. It's nothing magical. Like, I basically just store like various like cameras and camera gear and stuff. So like, for example, like here, like in this Star Wars lunchbox, I have like all the attachments for my little cameras. So like when I do the cat cams, like when you see like a video shot from like Ginny's perspective, it's usually with this. Then like, like mounts and attachments for like various things, just like all my camera gear. And I apologize if this is like, my office is actually a little bit chaotic right now. I was shooting a video in here earlier today too, so that was the other thing I had going on. So yeah, just like a beehive of activity, which is actually why I'm so happy with this space. It's because it's like so flexible, like, and I have like places for all my stuff, but then I can like pull some things out, shoot, like get set up. I'm gonna shoot again tomorrow, and so like I don't have to break down all the equipment. It's really great. So I think about adding turkeys, but I'm in no rush. I have a lot of friends who raise turkeys, and so typically what I end up doing is trading a goose for a turkey, and I don't know, it just makes my life easier. RJ, I did not go to the Peacham Cafe. We actually had some folks here at the farm, and so I cooked Thanksgiving dinner here. We did turkey, we did green bean casserole, stuffing, mashed potatoes, gravy, roast squash, pumpkin pie I made from our own pumpkins. Trying to think if there's anything else we made, but that was that was kind of the general gist of it. It was a good time, good meal, but I did not make it out to the cafe, even though I hear Chuck did a wonderful job, and they were actually serving some of our goose at the cafe this year, which was kind of cool. I think they're going to be serving some of our goose at Christmas as well. I don't know if Ralph will ever get a flock of his own. He might just kind of be sort of a mascot with the other guys. I mean, he's fitting in really well with the other flocks, so I don't necessarily see the need. So we'll see. Okay, a two-part question from Nathan. Are you planning on bigger farmstead, more calves on the farm, or will you be allowing the girls to keep getting pregnant? If so, do you have any plans in place? Yeah, I mean, so my plan is this, with the cattle, I guess is sort of how I'm interpreting this. I do want to grow my cattle herd. That is something I definitely want to do and expand out. I'm well situated to do that, essentially. And I would say that I'm going to get probably, I don't know. So I'm hoping for 5 calves. The females I would end up probably trying to trade with people. And the reason that I would try to trade the females is because I want to be able to keep having Randy going and having fresh cattle there. Eventually, I'll probably split my cattle into 2 breeding herds so that I can actually, basically only mate as close as second cousins would be my ultimate goal. And so, that'll come in time. But actually, for next year, I probably will like to try to sell the female calves, and then the males would become steers, which we'd raise for beef. What will I do with the old weird chicken coop? I still haven't figured that one out. The red coop, I think you're meaning, Bruno. I don't know. I should probably just tear it down, to be honest, at this point. It's kind of starting to kind of come apart a little bit. I don't have a use for it, really. So, yeah, I don't know. Where does a snow... Oh, come on. Don't tell me you didn't just drop the punchline soon after, Ann. Now I'm dying. Hey, what's up, Brad? I have thought about Kuni Kuni. I mean, maybe. I kind of like how I did it this year. And so I think just kind of one of those sort of traditional British breeds, Durocs or the Hampshires, I don't know. It's pretty easy and simple. Yeah. How would we keep healthcare if Allison left her job? I mean, we'd probably just buy insurance on the exchange. I mean, we've actually looked and considered it because, I don't know, employer provided health insurance is not great. I mean, I challenge most people who are, say, not on a government based program to see if they're really happy with their insurance, and most of them aren't. Okay. Would I collab with 100 Acres Woods Highlands? Yeah, maybe. I mean, I'm always open to collabing with folks. So, Russell, I do not have any pork for sale. So, because I slaughtered the pigs on farm, legally we can't sell that meat, and so we can only either eat it ourselves or give it to friends and family. And so, that's actually what we're doing with all the meat. But I can't sell it legally. I think if I were to do pigs again next year, I won't slaughter them on farm, and the reason being that I want to be able to sell the meat. I kind of did this as an experiment this year and felt like I wanted to do kind of every stage kind of through here. I think for next year, I think I would actually do it so that I have them set up to be processed at one of the local processing shops here that's USDA inspected. So that would be my plan for next year. But this year, unfortunately, we are not selling any pork. And so we have very full freezers and we're giving out hams for family for Christmas and stuff. But yeah. I heard that milk cattle needed to get their hooves trimmed every month. Do your cattle? So yeah, I get so many questions about hoof trimming, and how do I put this? Like, I think it's because there's a lot of, there's some really good content creators who make videos about trimming hooves and like a lot of content on it. And so people will see those videos and then assume that like every cow needs like hoof trimming like that. There are some big differences. And so like for our Scottish Highland cattle, it's a very rare thing to need to have your hooves trimmed. Like in fact, the folks over at Shad Acres who like Janet and Ray, who we bought our bull Macho Man from, they have been, I mean, they have like one of the oldest Scottish Highland herds in the United States. Not one of, they have the oldest herd in the United States. And like they rarely need to do it. And basically it happens every once in a while you might need to. And so it's not to say never, but when you have your cattle out on pasture, when they're moving around, they're not walking around on concrete. And then you also have breeds like the Scottish Highland who don't typically have a problem with that. They often don't need to have their hooves trimmed. So like I said, not never, but they don't need it. When you have big Holsteins walking around on concrete all day, that's a very different circumstance. And so I think that's where the distinction comes from. Why doesn't your wife like being in videos? I mean, I don't know. She's a little shy. I think that's probably the biggest thing. She does not like to be the center of attention, unlike other people. and so yeah, I just don't think it's her thing. And so I never want to try to push her. When she's up for it and she's interested, I totally welcome to have her here. And I think generally people like seeing her in videos, but I don't ever want to try to force her. I don't think that's like healthy at all. Oh, that makes me so happy. Thank you for the support. Hey, what's going on? Good to see you. Yeah, we got a little bit of snow this week, but I mean, it's funny. A friend of mine who lives, I don't know, half an hour away came by the farm this afternoon, and he was saying they got 2 feet in this past storm. We got, I don't know, 6 inches, 8 inches. I shot a video about it, so you'll see it in probably about a week or so. But yeah. I did. Yes, I will be growing second generation pumpkins next year. Wow, we got all the Canadians in the house. Good to see you guys. I completely agree with you. Team goats. Wait, I don't agree with that though, Sarah. I agree with your first sentence. But yeah, no, I mean pretty much to what you're saying. I feel like I've been building up my skills with the cattle, and like I've got a system in place and infrastructure, and I've just made really good progress there. And so I think I am better off just focusing my energy there. That's not a final decision, but it's where I'm leaning these days. We have some, we don't have a lot. We have like, a handful of trees pretty close to the house that I usually tap. And when I tap them, we'll make syrup for ourselves for the year. So yeah. What do you plan to do with any heifer? Oh, I think I know I'm way behind. I'm going to do a little time jump, guys. So apologize if your question was asked between 8 and 8:20. Just trying to keep pace here. How about Yeah. Yeah, I mean, that would be like exactly like whoever had the idea there earlier, and I got their name so that they can get the Finn, that's who it was, to get the credit. But yeah, no, it would be like a short story anthology for all the weird ones. I flippin' love that idea. That would be such a fun book to write too. Yeah, you guys got my wheels turning here. Well, Melbourne, that's pretty incredible. No, they actually don't share. They each have their own. They're parked side by side, but they don't like to share. Well, Dan, I think you gotta recognize. So to immediately put like ground-based veggies in, yeah, that's not okay. To do it a year later, I wouldn't have any concerns about parasites or anything from that. how is little barn cat after the car hit her? I didn't get a chance to ask yet, and I really haven't seen. Well, you know what, Nathan? We're gonna let little barn cat try to answer that for herself. Hey, Lil. Hey, Lil. You come say hi. Come on, come on, come on, Lil. We're gonna have Lil do her segment. Come on, sweet pie. Climb up. Say hi to the people. They want to know how you're doing. And she's eating treats out of my hand. Aw. No, but she's doing really well, actually. She's a very happy cat. She spends most of her time hanging out here, or she'll be down by the fire. Those are her two favorite places. Yeah, she's very content. She hasn't like ever tried to like go back outside. She's pretty great. Hey, Christina, good to see you. Hey, treat yourself. I will do that. Good to see you, Christina. Hey, Deborah, good to see you. And sorry, I'm just trying to get through these questions or catch up to these questions. Do. The Melita. Wait, what's the Melita? I looked at a couple of interesting ones. Oh, you know what? I did look at the Melita. Yeah, you know what? What I didn't like about it was it's all plastic. And I don't know, there's something, I don't want to sound like a conspiracy nut, but like I felt like glass is healthier to pour like on a daily basis, like, you know, hot water over and over again on. I don't love putting hot water on plastic over and over again. I don't know. Maybe that doesn't make sense, but yeah. I think you should do Toby Dog. I did that book. Did you read it, Nathan? You should check it out. Toby Dog of Goldshaw Farm, available now. Makes a great holiday gift. You know, Super Cow, I was actually thinking about something of like 24 hours inside the hoop coop and like, you know, showing everybody kind of what happens. My only concern is it might actually feel a little bit boring. Like, I don't know. I'd have to really work to try to make it an interesting video, but I've actually thought about doing something like that. You know, typically what you have is most of the birds are just kind of chilling out, doing their thing. The other thing that's hard about it is like, you know, getting good night vision footage without disturbing them, is a little tricky. Okay. Hey, what's up there, Danny? Like I said earlier, about the Stephanie, like I'm hoping that all 5 are, but no confirmation yet. So stay tuned on that one. So if we do have babies, they would all be B babies. So they're all born to A moms. Next year, we'll be breeding Belinda and Bonnie. And so if they have calves, those calves would have C names. Yeah, Joshua, actually, for next year, I'm actually working on this. Like, I would actually line up a number of different providers of food. And my goal would be to, like, maybe get over 90%. My final tally, and I'm working on this because I'm actually working on the how much money our farm made this year video, I think is like 83%, 82% of what they ate came from like found stuff. So yeah, I'd hope to get that number up just a little bit higher. You like our office space, but can Allison army crawl to get mailings? Wait, I don't get it. Wait, like the Office Space, the movie? Okay. Okay, never tasted goose. Can you explain the taste? I can. Let's see. What can I say about the taste? It's similar to duck. Like if I was gonna say if it's similar to anything, like duck is probably the closest to it. But I actually find it's a little bit richer. It is like, and if you haven't ever had duck, I would say it's like closest to like dark meat turkey, like a turkey thigh, and like a goose breast and a goose thigh are somewhat similar. That would be how I'd term it. Oh, random vids. I do watch Dunkin' Ducks. Oh, and I'm not even sure I'm allowed to talk about that. Yes, yeah. So the answer is yes. I think Chrissy, who's with the Dunkin' Ducks there, she does an incredible job. She's super talented, and she might be working on something that I actually just started reading, and yeah, it's really good. But I probably shouldn't say any more. I don't want to spoil anything. So Debbie, I actually can't. I looked into this. So again, because I slaughtered them on farm, I'm actually not even allowed to donate those. I did donate a handful of geese over the course of this fall to actually a couple needy families for the holidays. But I can't donate the pork. Like it just legally I'm not allowed to, and legally they're not allowed to serve it. So, Danny, I think at least with the amount of space that we have right now, I could probably be up somewhere between 20 and 30 head of adult cattle without it being too taxed, like in terms of like space and resources. So like that would be like a kind of reasonable size. If I added more land to have access to, it could get even bigger than that. How much in taxes do you send for the farm? Like how much do I pay? I mean, I don't think I want to answer that. Yeah, so Sarah, I think the answer, let me try to break that into a couple answers there. So yeah, I think I'm gonna try a chaos garden, but I might do it in a little different space because it was just a fun experiment, but I don't feel like it felt like it was too crowded to like yield results. Second, I will probably plant very similarly and just avoid letting those rowdy teenagers in. It will be my focus. But yeah, I'm actually very happy with, I mean, I'm still serving pumpkins from that, and we're into December. And so I felt really good with what we got from a yield out of that. So that was a really good situation there. So I will pretty much do mostly the same next year. I think the chaos garden part's the one part that I do differently, but honestly, the thing with the chaos garden is more like hey, I got random seeds to spare here because I've done, it's hard to rely on it. So yeah. What's the biggest hurdle starting farm? I mean, honestly, for me personally, the biggest hurdle was getting here. So, when we bought the farm in 2016, I was still living in Washington, D.C. 2017, I was still living in Washington, D.C. It really wasn't until the spring of 2018 when I found a job and I could move up here that I could. So for me personally, that was the biggest hurdle. It was actually getting here physically. But once that happened, I feel like a lot of other things came together. Oh, ba-doom boom. All right. Thank you for that, Rebecca. So, Tindra, I don't know. Like I could maybe do quail, but I just don't have a lot of interest in it. I think continuing to focus on geese, and I think I'll actually probably be doing more chicken stuff over the course of the next year. So yeah. Any update on the t-shirt merch that isn't exclusive? What does that mean? I'm not sure I follow you, Anna. I don't know if you guys could hear that, but Lil just went downstairs and she yelled at me. Lil Barncat and I have we have lots of conversations. Like she is a very vocal cat, even though she doesn't seem vocal like usually when she's up here because she's usually just sleeping. She and I will have many, especially when I'm down in the kitchen cooking. She will yell at me constantly, telling me to feed her. like demands food constantly. It's pretty hysterical. Yeah. Yeah, Jennifer, I 100% agree with you. I mean, like, this is going to make people mad. I am a full believer in like a single payer healthcare system for a variety of reasons. But arguably the most is just in terms of, our healthcare system is so complex at this point. It's very, very hard to even navigate and understand what you're buying, what you're paying for. And like, it doesn't need to be that way. and I feel like it's actually done that way because of how we've structured health care, health insurance, like, pharmacy coverage, like all of it. It's a mess. It's a total mess. All right. I'm seeing repeat questions, so I'm skipping past stuff. So yeah. So yes, Debbie, there will be soap this year. It'll be probably January again, but it will be with exactly to your point. It won't be beef tallow. It will be pig lard soap, and so I don't know if I'm going to have it completely done by the time we have our next farm meeting in January, especially because I think. I don't know. I think it's like January 3rd is the Wednesday. But by probably late January, we'll have it. Maybe I'll launch it in February for the first farm meeting. Excuse me. I would say that the chicken business is a complete break-even proposition. And the main reason I do the chickens is to feed myself as well as actually help control the flies around the cattle. I'm not making money off the chickens, but I'm not losing money. Hey, what's going on there, Cody? All right, totally depends on the cow, bro. We have a Guernsey, and she doesn't eat it more than once a year, and she's on pasture. Okay, so all right, so that's interesting. See, yeah, I mean, with ours, like I have not had to do it in the 3 years that all of them have been here. And so yeah, I think you're totally right. It depends on the cow and the context, but yeah, that makes sense. My pig was 235 when processed, no skin was. So hold on, I can actually tell you the numbers. Cody, hold on, let me I'll try to get you some numbers. But we did skin them to answer your question. All right. Hold on, I'm trying to pull up the numbers here. Okay, so they have a lot of fat and okay, your hams are. So this is the post-processing hanging weight, and these are halves. So, I mean, all right. So if I'm looking at all three pigs, one pig ended up being 190. I'm sorry, not 100. 296 pounds post-processing. So that's, you've gutted them, pulled out the organs, skinned, like all of that stuff. So that's, I mean, the answer is all of my pigs were probably about like 350 to 380 pounds each. But 296, 294, and 285. So some big healthy girls right there. I mean, my hunch is it's not going to be good for the Pats. I can tell you that much, Edna. I mean, honestly, Finn, my plan is just kind of to do the same thing I did this year, like where it's like you really just watch and do the best you can, and yeah, figure out what option. I'm still working on the vet thing, so stay tuned on that. I don't want to. Sometimes you got to be careful with how much you talk about publicly when you're trying to like line up a service, and just know, guys, that's kind of what I'm up against too. Because a lot of people will be like, "Wait, you're gonna just talk about what I'm doing on a video?" Like they get a little sketched out, and so when you see me being a little cagey with some of that and like not wanting to talk about it, like please know that it's rooted very much in that more than anything else. Not that I don't want to share it with you. It's just I'm trying to respect like the privacy of somebody like that too. So. Yeah, I guess that's I don't know. Maybe I'm even saying too much there. Wait, I feel like I've looped back on comments somehow, or are just folks just asking the same question again? What are your favorite coffee ground bean suppliers for personal coffee? I usually go with like the Vermont roasters. I think that's like my usual go-to. I mean, and I usually do like either a medium roast or a dark roast. And I usually get whole beans and I grind them myself. I don't know. No, Lil Barncat was the one who got hit by the car. Molly Murder Mittens, who I think is the one you're talking about, she has not come back, and so yeah, it's sad. Okay. Let's see. I'm gonna keep jumping ahead here. Yeah, I honestly, so there would be two potential experiments. One, either I actually dig a new pond and I have the pigs try to help me build the new pond, or two, I just have them keep clearing out more woods like they did this year. And so, yeah, there you go. I don't think I would build another hoop coop just for pumpkins, but I could actually see building a second hoop coop because I really like having the space. I don't know, like honestly, like if I were to raise pigs, like and actually start breeding pigs, I would probably build a smaller hoop coop so that I could actually raise the pigs inside that. Yeah. Hey, Jess. I don't have any, not really. I mean, I'll actually talk about this and how the farm made money. Like here's the thing, like it works as a nice sideline business, but it's not necessarily what I want to do full time, and I don't necessarily need to do it. And so, I don't know, like I will keep doing it because I really like doing it, and I do it for my own farm anyway. So to then like sell the excess to people is like easy for me to do. But like to expand out a lot, I don't know if that's what I'd want to do. And honestly, I don't think people actually care about the trees nearly as much as, like, I know there's some folks who are like really hardcore for it. Most of the time when I put out like a tree video, like nobody wants to watch it. So it's always a little trick. Not really. I mean, I think eventually I'm going to try to figure out a different like winter situation for the cattle if I got a lot more cattle. But for right now, I don't need to. But yeah, I think for next winter, I'm kind of thinking about some options for how to keep them a little bit differently. Drew knows me well because that's actually exactly what's going on right now. I'm like fighting off an allergy attack, which might mean I have to tap out pretty soon. But like that, you nailed it, Drew. Yes, Shauna. So I actually just this week shot a full barn tour video. I know you guys have been asking for it. So I did a whole video where I broke down the barn, like showed the whole process for building it, give you the final tour, and I did a whole breakdown of how much money we spent on it, because I know there are a lot of people asking questions about that. And so I shot that video this week. Probably in the new year, I will start the project to build out the hatching room, and there will at least be one video, if not a couple, around what's going on there with that. Oh, I'm a straight up digital guy. I actually have a record player back there, and I have some like old records that I listen to that like are my old 7 inches from when I was like a teenage punk rocker. But I don't know. I think people put a little bit too much stock in vinyl. And I just like having easy access to anything I want to listen to at any point in time, and so that's why I'm a fan of a digital music collection. Wait, I feel like I already answered that one, right? Oh, okay, all right. Rebecca, I do. I actually still, it's funny because I was just moving all freezer stuff around earlier this afternoon for the kind of like fitting all the pork in everywhere. And yeah, his hide is actually still at the bottom of one of those freezers, and I just haven't found a place to send it. Like I keep looking for it, and yeah, I have not had any luck. I have not strived to do that. I mean, like if somebody were to offer it to me, I might drink it just to like have a good story. That would not be something I would actively seek out, nor would it be something I'd want to spend a lot of money on, which I think that's like that type of coffee is actually really expensive. But no, I have not ever tried that. I might make it. I did the goose cooking video. I might make another one. You know what? All right, I will do that especially because winter videos are a little bit harder. I will be I'll do a cooking video with pork. So you stay tuned for that in the new year. Maybe I'll do like a pork ragu or something with because I do have our tomatoes like processed in the freezer. What I usually do is I'll cook the tomatoes down into like a paste in the summer when we have tomato harvest, and then I put them in like freezer bags and like flat freeze them, and then it's like I almost have like a filing cabinet full of like tomato sauces that I can just pull out for a meal. And so yeah, maybe I'll do something like that, kind of with as much ingredients from the farm as possible. But yeah, so stay tuned for that. Actually, that's probably a good segue for an announcement I do need to probably make here. For the YouTube channel in the new year, I'm going to actually be changing up the video schedule. So I'm still going to do the Monday video and the Thursday video. I'm still going to do the Wednesday, first of the month live streams. I'm still going to do the shorts, but I might be pulling back on the Saturday videos. And there's going to be a very good reason why, and you guys are going to have to stay tuned for it in the new year, but I will be pulling that. And then the other thing is the Goldshaw Farm podcast is going to be moving off of the Goldshaw Farm YouTube channel because a lot of folks I know are not being here. It'll continue and it's going to be rebranded a little bit. It's going to be actually called Stories Told. Stories Told with Morgan Gold. But that'll be something that happens in January. But yeah, I figured I should just let you guys know that. All right, let's see. Is there anything else? Pork sausage video. Okay. Oh, you know what? Yes, I will actually probably in the new year be doing some roll for dog food stuff with Toby and Abby. So stay tuned for that. Yeah, I got to actually set up the game board as well. I've got everything like right back there. I just you know what it is? I have to go to like a big pet store and buy a bunch of ingredients for them. And then once I have that on hand, it's really easy to play. But until I get like some of these like random ingredients and have them stored up somewhere, it's a little tricky. Okay. T-shirt follow-up. T-shirts that aren't limited edition and never bought again. So I'm asking about t-shirts that, yeah, there are a few t-shirts that are always available. So, so hold on a sec. I am going to show you guys right now kind of the t-shirt situation, what we got. And there's going to be a new shirt coming very soon. So this is like our merch site. You can get through it for our website. You can also actually usually click on our YouTube videos. You'll see it posted there. Right now, the only shirt that we're offering is the Abby Chaotic Good. That's going to stay available, though. I'm not going to retire it like I usually do. Oh, hold on. A little scratching to get out of the door. Okay, sweetie. Okay. All right. Here you go. And so those will be there. And then sorry, I lost my train of thought letting Lil out. And so that's available now. There will be a couple new t-shirts coming soon in the new year. I got to admit, I'm kind of like behind on stuff. I'm just trying to catch up. I've been really good about chasing some of my creative projects. Like I said, the Lil Barn Cat book is going really well. I'm putting a lot of energy into that. There's something else I'm working on, which you'll see in January, which I've been really working hard on. But then other things like, making new t-shirt designs I've been kind of slacking on. And so it just kind of that's sort of been no Jaden, no luck. I had so many does walk by me. I'm talking like, I don't know, 50 feet away, 40 feet away, like while I'm in my stand. But not a single buck. And so, yeah, no luck this year. Even though on the trail camera, I saw these like 3 different bucks that were coming through like constantly. But yeah, no, it did not quite work out for me. Oh, hey, All Thing Acres, thank you so much. That's very, very kind of you. Much, much appreciated. Thank you. Oh, could we have in one of your spring videos, Allison kind of show what she's planned for her garden and then how everything is going in the garden update? You know what? I will ask her that. I can't promise anything, but yeah. Let me ask her about that. I would totally be up for doing that if she's up for doing it. So let me check in with her on that. How is the Peacham Barn Cats? They had a losing season this year, unfortunately. Lost a key member. Yeah, exactly, Shauna. Okay, all right. It's funny you should talk about this, Jennifer, because do I have any up here? I don't think I do. So as a promotional item for the Toby Dog book, when I was like trying to send it out to get people to review it and promote it, I made these like little Toby Dog action figures. I actually have one of the action figures, but I don't have the packaging. And I dropped it. And basically, everybody has been asking me to make action figures. And so, yeah, I've been looking at seeing a way to do it. Thanks, Cody. I appreciate that, man. Yes, I've been slacking. Can I build a snow den? I don't know. I'm not sure that they would even use it. It's so funny. Like, most of the time they sleep under the doghouse. Like, they can go in the doghouse anytime they want, and when it gets really cold, they do. But most of the time, they're usually actually sleeping under it. Like, they like to sleep outside. That's just how they're wired. It's a very funny thing. An original Bear Bird logo. Sure. Okay. I like that. Any other ideas if you guys have, fire them away. I totally open to them. Not even remotely thought that was going to be a scenario, Christina. Like that never checked in with me. Not even, no. It's crazy, but I feel very, very lucky. No other way to put it. Well, thank you, Judy. I really appreciate that. Really? Is that true? Because that would be my argument for getting some guinea keats right there, Kathleen. If they would keep the crows away, I'm going to do some research on that one. Hold on, I'm taking a picture of your comment just so I remember it as well. But yes, I think that is a very, very interesting premise. I got to look into that. Oh, what do I usually do for the snow? I mean, let me just tell you, because we had our first like decent sized snowstorm this week, and I have all of the cars inside the barn, and I have my tractor inside the barn. It is the easiest thing in the world. I did my chores that morning, and then once I was done with that, fired up the tractor, took it out, cleared the snow with the snow blower in like 10 minutes, and like went about my day. That's all it took. It was so easy. I am so thankful for our new barn. It has made everything so good. Oh, totally, Nathan. Just you can Goldshaw Farm at select.co. Goldshaw Farm at select.co. Just shoot me a message. Yeah, that's another thing I've been slacking on. It was one of those things, I should start working on that when it's winter and it slows down. like I said, like the project I will admit that I have very much been throwing myself into is writing the Little Barn Cat book. That one I put a lot of energy into. And so like, yeah, that and this other thing that I'm not going to talk about here, but like those two things have been where my energy's been going. I have not worked on the video game, admittedly. That would be another interesting, I should try that too. You know what? I do like the snow. I mean, that's part of why I picked to move to Vermont. Like, I like the cold weather. I like the snow. I find it very, very peaceful and soothing and relaxing. And I like the fact that like this area just kind of goes to sleep for a couple of months. Yeah. So yes, I guess, like, and I'm trying to think of like, well, what makes me like it? Why do I like it? And I kind of just do. It's like an aesthetic thing. I like having very distinct seasons. Maybe that's actually what it's really rooted into. And so, spring being this time of unlocking and everything thawing, summer being this time where life is just vibrant and everything is green and growing like crazy, fall being this time of like a shift and like, an explosion and like one final burst of color before you go back into kind of lockdown mode and the quiet and the solitude of winter. Like, I love that cycle. And so I feel like the snow is a core part of that, going into lockdown mode. And so I do personally like it. Yeah, Nathan, there's a very, very slim chance that I'm going to see it. Like, there's so many messages that go into that mailbox. I barely have the ability to check it, but if you email me, it'll be much more likely I can look at it. Anna, that is actually much appreciated. If you, I probably should do something like that. It is hard. Like, when I get good ideas like this, it's tough. But so honestly, guys, like the picture taking method, I don't know if anybody else does this. I find it is the ultimate way to do it, because then, once a day I'll go through and look at my pictures and be like, oh yeah, there's that and that and that. And that's what I'll put into like my note-taking system, just so I remember stuff. And so I just take a lot of pictures and then look at the pictures that I took. Why are you against goats? Goat dairy farmer here. Well, Caitlin, all right. I feel like this is one I always have to break down for folks. So for my situation and my context, I don't think goats are a good thing. Number one, goats are, generally escape artists and parasite prone. And so if you keep them moving, I feel like you mitigate your parasite problems, but it's very hard to keep them moving without escaping or building Fort Knox. And so it's like that dilemma right there doesn't make me all that interested. And then second, we're also a tree farm here, and particularly in recent years, like a young tree farm. And so I've always had this vision of having goats and having a couple of them escape, and in the span of an afternoon, decimating years of work with just, kind of going crazy on some trees. And I mean, I'm probably overblowing it, but rooted in it all is kind of why I shy away from goats, is really for all of those reasons. If I was in a different situation, in a different context, I could actually totally see being into goats. Like if I was in a more, desert-like location, I think that would make perfect sense. And I said this before too, like I got a question last month where somebody was asking me, like, if I were to start over, how would I do it today? And the answer is this, like, given where land prices are, I wouldn't be able to buy a farm like I have right now if I was starting over in 2023 or 2024. And so what I would actually focus on doing is buying just wood lots where it's just unmaintained wooded areas. And I would actually focus on having pigs and goats really help me clear and transform that land into farmland. Like that would be how I'd approach it. And so then goats would be a huge part of what I do. But I'm not in that situation here. And so they don't seem like the right move for me personally. Other than that, I'm just kind of having fun, like picking on goats. I don't have any like really hardcore bias against them, but I don't know. Hopefully that gives you the kind of the answer that you're looking for of why I'm not a big goat guy and why I have no plans on adding them. Wait, you have 5? That's the wrong direction. I want the crows to be scared of the guinea fowl, not the other way around. Oh, hey, Shmuel, Shmuley Glick. Shmuel Glick. Oh God, I'm so sorry if I'm butchering your name, but thank you for that donation. It's very, very generous of you. I do. Laura, I've actually made a bunch of videos about making maple syrup. I have like a little home scale evaporator that I use. You know, we don't make a ton. Like we probably ended up with I don't know, 2 gallons of maple syrup last year. Like, I mean, that's not a commercial production, but like it's enough for us for the year. And so, you know, that's typically how we do it. Yes, you know, Divine Wrath, you actually put it much more elegantly than I did. That's 100%. Tom, I do keep bees. I have 3 hives that I set, you know, to winter last month, and so yeah, that, you know, that's where we're at. You know, Shauna, I don't have any good new bands. Like, I'm trying to think. You know, I've been getting back in. You guys, you know, Therapy, like Therapy with a question mark. They're like from the 90s. I never was really into them back in the day, but I've actually been listening to that a lot. Hold on, let me tell you what else I mean. My Spotify Wrapped was kind of weird this year. I don't know. I feel like I've actually personally, Shauna, been in a music funk and open to other things from other people. Yeah, I'm listening to the same old stuff. If I'm going to be very, very honest with you, Shauna, it's really kind of the sad part. So any suggestions you guys might have? I mean, if you're not looking for music and you have a road trip, what did I like that I just listened to? I don't know. Nobody's gonna care about the stuff that I listened to. Like I just listened to like this like 3-hour podcast with Emma Chamberlain and Colin and Samir today. Like over the course of me doing work around the farm. It was very interesting, but I don't think most people will care about that. I am reading If It Bleeds by Stephen King. That is actually, it's like a short stories collection, or like novella collection, probably more accurate. And I just finished the one with Holly Gibney, which I love those stories. Yeah, I think there's like one more left in the book, which I'll probably crank out tomorrow. Yeah, honestly, like that is the other one. So like my like the way the pictures work with that, Christina, is like once a day I just go through my picture roll and like grab anything that I took. But I just find the pictures it's just so quick and so immediate, and I'm just like trained to take pictures anyway at this point. And so that's how I like get it there. Well, guys, I think my voice is giving out, but I really enjoyed hanging out with you tonight. As I said earlier, we do have new merch, as you've been probably watching for most of this live stream. There is the brand new Goldshaw Farm hat or toque. Yeah, it comes in 4 colors. It's available. We also have Toby Dog of Goldshaw Farm. There is the print version, either in paperback or hard copy. The hard copy is $19.99. I think the paperback is $15.99. And then we also have the audio version as well as a digital version. But yeah, I will be back soon with another video. There'll be a new video coming out tomorrow. And I look forward to talking to you guys soon. And as always, I hope you have a very, very happy holidays. And Howard Stern, oh gosh, by the way, I don't know if you guys heard this. Like, yeah, Ralph Sorella died. That bummed me out, honestly. I was really sad to hear about that. Yeah, but yeah, oh gosh, Assassin, you totally threw me off my key. Anyway. Yes, thank you, by the way, to all of our moderators. Thank you to 13 Moons over Mayhem, Danny at Wicked Awesome Gardener, and Katrina over at Sow and Tear. Who else was here? Rose at Wholesome Roots. Thank you, everybody, guys. Without these folks, we would not be able to do these live streams. And so I hope everybody has a wonderful night, and I will be back soon, and I will see you guys soon. Bye.
It's got a soul, this hero farm. It falls asleep inside my arms. We work the fields under the stars. The love is here at Gold Shop Farms. Well, city life, yeah, it had its charms, but we would dream of the fields under the stars. I fall asleep inside its arms. The love is here at Gold Shop Farms. The love is here at Gold Shop Farms.